Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Fife. I'm the Intercompany Practice Lead with Clearsulting. We're going to start a short series here where we focus on intercompany modernization activities with a focus on Blackline Intercompany Hub as the technology enabler. Prior to getting into what we can do from a Blackline intercompany standpoint regarding implementations or optimizations, we really want to ground this series in an understanding of the end-to-end intercompany framework here that we have on the screen. So if you look at the end-to-end intercompany process, really it starts with your legal entity structure, transfer pricing policies, and the different intercompany trade, non-trade, or services related transactions that exist within your organization. As we move into the second chevron here, after you've defined your overall intercompany process and structure within your organization, ultimately you have to process those intercompany transactions as it relates to trade and goods, products, and services, depending on the nature of your organization, and ensuring all of those transactions are processed within your organization from a supply chain standpoint and from a controllership standpoint. There's a lot of different teams involved in trade and goods related transactions. Then you have typically services related transactions or non-trade transactions that aren't part of your core business, but ultimately impact the organization from an accounting standpoint and from a operating model perspective. You want to ensure that those transactions are booked appropriately. As we move into the middle pillar here, you want to ensure that your intercompany receivables and payables and any long-term assets or liabilities, all of those transactions are booked appropriately on both sides of the trading partner, and you're able to complete your balance sheet reconciliations timely and effectively. As you move through matching and reconciliation, trading partners agree on what needs to be settled. You ultimately want to net those transactions to minimize the payment impact or cash movements that are required within your organization. And you may also have some non-cash settlements as a part of your treasury strategy within your organization. So that's really that fourth pillar there. And then lastly, you want to make sure that you consolidate all of your, a lot of large organizations, they have, multi-ERP landscape. You want to ensure that from a consolidated reporting standpoint, you have a clean picture of your consolidated financials and that you've been able to effectively eliminate all of that intercompany profit or activity that's occurred within your organization. And as you see here on the bottom page of this slide, um, ultimately there's a lot of different processes and different areas within the organization that are impacted. So, tax, treasury, a controllership, IT, FP&A. There's a lot of people that touch the end-to-end intercompany process within the finance and accounting organization. So it's really critical to ensure that you have alignment throughout the organization. And then as we think about, Blackline as an intercompany enabler and looking at automation, Blackline Intercompany Hub really is a product that stands alone in the industry as far as end-to-end intercompany processing capabilities as you look within the controllership and from a treasury point of view. So Blackline really focuses on creating intercompany transactions, matching and reconciling those intercompany transactions, balancing those, so getting you a clean picture between the different trading partners and allowing you to be able to make any adjustments, write-offs, accruals, disputes, etc., within the tool, and then ultimately streamlining your netting and settlement process with the ability to integrate to different TMS systems from an execution standpoint. So as you're looking at the history of Blackline Intercompany Hub, there's been a lot of new features that have been rolled out, over the last couple of years. The technology itself is, around 10 years old. But there's a lot of clients that we see from an intercompany standpoint that have implemented a lot of the core intercompany modules, or I'm sorry, the core Blackline modules as it relates to account recs, tasks, journals, matching, etc. And really, what we're seeing, there are some clients that have purchased Intercompany Hub or have implemented Intercompany Hub a few years back. And now we're seeing a lot of clients that really want to optimize and standardize the way they're using Intercompany Hub and rolling out a lot of the new features to their organization globally to really streamline their end-to-end intercompany process. So a couple things, as you're thinking about, modernizing your intercompany process, do you have a multi-year ERP landscape? Do you have an integrated solution that handles, the end-to-end intercompany process for the controllership, for treasury, within the organization? Do you have global standard process and policy to really enable what you're doing from an intercompany standpoint? And then do you have stakeholders that are ultimately bought in modernizing and transforming what you're doing from an end-to-end intercompany process standpoint? So, look to show you guys what we're doing within Blackline, show you guys how the tool will work over the course of this series, and really create some perspective on, how intercompany can be modernized with, process standardization and really with Blackline, as an enabling tool.